Thank you for joining us tonight for the championship pitch event. Our 12 pitchers tonight represent the best pitchers of 2023. Congratulations to you all. Thank you to our host location, Greater Williamsburg, which consists of the city of Williamsburg, James City County, and York County, as well as the cities of Newport News, Poquoson, and Hampton. Speaking of our host location, I'm pleased to turn the stage over to Joanna Scorbala from the city of Williamsburg to share a few words. Over to you, Joanna.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Joanna Scorbala. I'm the Tourism Development Specialist for the City of Williamsburg. And on behalf of the contributing municipalities, Williamsburg, York County, James City County, Newport News, Hampton, and Poquoson, I would like to welcome you all to tonight's Start Peninsula Championship event. We're also proud of our area's entrepreneurial ecosystem, and we are so excited about the outcomes that have resulted from Start Peninsula. Additionally, we cannot wait to see what's in store for tonight's pitchers in the coming days, months, and years. Best wishes to all competing tonight. And at this time, I'm going to turn it back over to Tim.
Awesome. Thanks, Joanna. Appreciate the kind words. We could not do this without you and the other localities. So thank you for taking the time to join us tonight. Here we are. We are at the championship pitch of 2023. So tonight we'll announce the three winners. This is the best of the year. So we've been working all year for this. We've had micro pitches in March, April, September, and October. So how did we get to where we are with those micro pitch events? Each of those had 10 founders pitch their business, and the top three from each of those events advance forward. And that is what you are about to see tonight. And tonight we'll have three winners that I'm super excited about. And this is the best of the year. This is just the start of the journey for them. So I couldn't be more excited. Gary, before we get started, we have a couple rules of the house. What do we have?
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Just a few. Please refrain from using the group chat feature. If you want to use the chat, please go direct with the specific person you want to connect with. It just doesn't distract everybody if you just do that. And then thanks in advance for honoring that request. And so we're eager to get going. As Tim mentioned, this evening we have 12 pitchers. Each pitcher has 3 minutes to pitch their business, and that will be followed by 2 minutes of Q&A with the judges. The way Q&A works is that each team of judges will ask a question in succession, then the pitcher will have 2 minutes to answer the questions that are asked. So those of you who are pitching, be sure you have a way to take notes as the judges ask their questions. Please don't start to answer any questions until all the judges have provided their questions. And Tim, speaking of judges, who are the judges tonight?
Yeah, this is super exciting because just like we haven't had talent before in terms of the strongest cohort of pitchers, if you will, we have a super strong cohort of judges. Typically for the championship pitch event, we have 5 judges, but in this case, it just worked out that we had 6 people that were available, and they paired up really nicely. And they paired up in a way that is likely going to represent a lot of different stages where people might be. So we decided to have 3 groups of 2 judges each, and we paired them accordingly. So the first team, if you will, represents the Virginia ICAP team, and that's Marty Kazabowski. Thank you for joining us tonight, Marty. And we have William McFeet, who is also part of the ICAP team. Familiar faces to you all. They were super generous to lend their time with many of the micro pitch events tonight. So they represent the all facets, but really specialize everything through the customer discovery portion. And we also have the next team, which is the 757 Collab team. So we have the executive director of Collab, Paul Nolde. With Paul, he represents 757 Angels, 757 Accelerate, 757 Startup Studios. So we're super excited to have Paul. And with Paul is Evans McMillian. That is a familiar face to us all. Evans is the inaugural executive director of 757 Accelerate, and is now leading her own journey, doing some consulting work in that space. So Evans, thank you for all that you've done and continue to do for the ecosystem. And we have the Angel and VC team, and some first-time judges with us tonight. We have CJ Spady. CJ is a 757 market leader and managing director for Fahrenheit Advisors. They are a middle market consulting firm, and she is also an active mentor with 757 Startup Studios and 757 Accelerate, where she enjoys sharing her entrepreneurial exposures from San Francisco with the passionate founders here in Hampton Roads. So thank you so much, CJ. And rounding out the Angel/VC team, we have Taylor Schwa. He's coming to us with was the previous director of investor relations and chief of staff for the CEO at 500 Startups. At 500 Startups, he partnered with the firm's executive team to manage strategic initiatives, investor relations, and fundraising efforts, and later stage co-investments. So we have a super strong group of judges. So thank you for your time and support. The way this is going to work is that the first six pitchers will go ahead and pitch. Then we're going to take a quick 5-minute break so everybody can regroup. Then we'll hear from the final 6 pitchers. Then we'll whisk the judges away into their deliberation room. During that time, super excited that we're going to introduce our keynote speaker for the evening, and that is Steve Waddell. He is a former Start Peninsula participant and the co-founder of Nasoni. And then once he's done, we'll announce the winners of 2023. So pitchers, as a reminder to you, know that you are nervous, so consider this just a friendly reminder. When it's your turn to pitch, unmute yourself, share your screen. Once your pitch is done, stop sharing your screen. Judges will ask their questions. Once the last question is asked, then you address the answers to each. When you're done, mute your mic, and then we'll move on to the next pitcher. Sound good, Gary?
Sounds great. And we are ready to get started. Our first pitcher tonight is going to be Jeanette Profel from the Bobo Collective. Jeanette, you ready?
I'm as ready as I'm going to be. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Hold on one second. Can you guys see?
You can.
Okay, give me 1 second. Okay. Let me get it to slideshow. All right. I am ready when you guys are.
The floor is yours.
Okay, awesome. Okay. Black people, we have a problem. A study by the Black Star Project found that while $1 circulates in other communities of color for 30 days and 17 days respectively, it only stays in the Black community for 6 hours. With Black consumers spending at $1.8 trillion, but the net worth of the Black community declining by 14%, that means that our spending is not circulating back into the community at the rate that it's leaving. But just imagine the change we could create if we can make that dollar circulate a little bit longer, using already existing consumer spending to build a better future with each purchase. That's the power of the Black-owned, Black-operated collective. Howdy, everyone. I'm Jetty. I'm the founder of the Black-owned, Black-operated collective, or BOBO for short. BOBO is a wholesale brokerage that exclusively sources for, produces, and sells Black-owned consumer packaged goods, and here's how it works. Black product creators pay to use our Black-owned supply chain to produce their brands. BOBO digitally certifies the product as Black-owned using an unalterable method of record keeping called blockchain. BOBO sells the certified product to companies looking for diverse procurement. Certified products are then easily identified and purchased by consumers looking to support these products. Our business model is twofold. On one side, we serve corporate buyers looking to stock their shelves with products that cater to an emerging market of conscious consumers who want to make a difference by seeking authenticity and impact in what they buy. On the other hand, we act as a wholesale brokerage, connecting products made by Black-owned product creators to those buyers. And Black consumer preferences are increasingly influencing mainstream choices. This has led to a diversification of products that appeal to not only Black consumers, but to the wider market in a phenomenon commonly referred to as the halo effect. But let's talk numbers. The data is still emerging, but beauty products from Black-owned brands only make up 7% of what is available on shelves, even though more than 80% of surveyed Black consumers prefer to purchase from Black brands. with initiatives like the 15% pledge supporting companies that prioritize diversity procurement and 43% of millennials identifying as African American, Hispanic, or Asian, neglecting this market means a company is missing out on a solid growth strategy for its future. Now, our team is small and mighty and consists of myself, a former 2-time small business owner and product line creator, and our COO, a technical designer with a master's degree of fashion from LIM College. And as you can see here, it has been quite a year for us, and we're still going strong with 3 pending buyer contracts, a trade mission to Nigeria in 2024, and the development of 15 personal care products for our catalog. So in a world where every dollar you spend is a vote for the kind of world you want to live in, we're asking you to join us in making a lasting impact by supporting our crowdfunding efforts to raise $250,000 at wefunder.com. And it's urgent that we start now because it's projected by 2053, the average median net worth of Black households will be $0. Tick-tock. Together, our communities can bridge the wealth gap and create a brighter and more equitable future for all. Thank you so much. I look forward to any questions you may have.
And that's time.
Okay, thanks, Jeanette.
Thank you.
And we're going to start our first judge questions with the ICAP team.
Okay, I believe I'm going to take the first shot at the question here. So hello, Jeanette. That was a very nice visual slides. I love the color background on your slides as well. Very, very clever.
Thank you.
So coming from ICAP, I'd just like you to ask you a bit about customer discovery, and if you could just say a little bit about maybe how many people you interviewed, diversity of people, and your biggest insight.
And next, the CoLab team.
Sorry. Hi, Jeanette. It's Evans. Great to see you. Great job. I am just want to talk about the revenue model. So just talk us through sort of what your revenue model is, how you make money today, and how that will grow in the future.
Okay.
And the Angels team.
Hi, Jeanette. Good to see you. Walk us through your traction, where you are in this two-sided market, your providers, where you are in developing your team of providers that provide the product into the market, and where you are in getting traction in your wholesale buyers.
Okay. All right, I am ready. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Okay, awesome. So for our customer discovery, I know this seems kind of funny, but we actually did it through Clubhouse. We spoke to Black consumers and asked them, the subject matter was, what do Black consumers want? It was kind of like simple. We got some really good insight around what Black consumers don't like about Black product creation, basically the customer service and some of the quality of the products. And so we use that going forward to help us craft products and bring out product lines that had really compelling stories. In addition to the product creators being Black owned. And we used about 32 different customer discovery interviews for that information. That's basically what we did. We just had people come in, sit down and talk with us, because on Clubhouse, the interactions are very personal. So it was actually an excellent exercise in us getting to know what Black consumers specifically liked and what they didn't like. So that's the answer to that question. For our revenue model, how we make money, we are a business to business brokerage. So the way that we make money is through the unit sales of the end product. A product creator pays to be in our supply chain, and that's how we get the initial cost that it takes to source for the raw materials they need to make their product. And then we get paid on the back end when the product is adopted by a purchase order from a retail buyer. As far as how we are, as far as traction for today, we have 3 pending corporate buyer contracts. Two of the contracts are waiting for our WeBank certification and our NMSDC certification in order for us to move forward with those contracts. And the third is going to be a 10,000 unit order. And so it's going to take time for us to be able to see if we can meet that capacity. For the third, as far as our traction, I think I kind of touched on that with the corporate buyer contracts. But we also have a trade mission coming up to Nigeria, where we're going to build our relationship with the Ministry of Agriculture there. So that will allow us to expand our suppliership relationships and have more raw materials available in our network for product creators to use. And then for we also have a pending negotiation with the Ministry of Agriculture in Kenya. So those are some of the big things that we have as far as traction, as well as the three pending buyer contracts.
That is time.
Sorry, thank you.
Oh, you're good.
Hey, thanks, Jeanette. Go ahead and unshare your screen.
Thank you.
And
Now this is the part I don't know how to do. I'm like, how do I do that? Hold on one second.
it should be up at the top. It's a red button when you move your cursor up to the top.
I think I put you guys in a little box right here at the bottom, so I don't even know how to get in there.
Okay.
Gosh, this is awkward. Oh, stop share. Thank you.
Yep. Yep. And judges, you ready to move on? Okay. Our next pitcher is going to be Crystal Lugo from BNC's Gloves.
Thank you. All right. Give me 1 second.
And I'll start when you do.
Okay. 1 second. BNC Gloves, grip and scale, never fail.
It just takes one great idea to change your life.
As Lori says, it takes one great idea to change your life. Meet one of our customers, Peter, who's 25 years old and lives in the #1 fishing state, Maine. Peter fishes recreationally and professionally, but he's frustrated and tired of getting stuck, tired of getting sores, tired of being exposed to bacteria, which can cause infection. But just like Peter, there are many frustrated customers between the ages of 18 to 16 years old experiencing the same problem within the fishing industry. But no need to fear, the Glove Scaler is here. Hi, my name is Crystal Lugo, and I'm the inventor of the Glove Scaler, the only 2-in-1 product, a glove and a fish scaler to quickly grip and scale fish by using your hands, offering a faster and safer way to descale fish versus your traditional methods. So why the Glove Scaler? Well, the fishing industry with supplies is worth $59 billion in revenue. But we realized our glove falls into just the bait and tackle industry, which is over $1.28 billion in revenue. We believe our customers are needing a product to eliminate the injuries that they experience by handling and gripping and scaling fish. Our pricing structure, our wholesale of $30 and our suggested retail price of $79.99. Where have we gone so far? Well, we won a pitch competition with Something in the Water recently. We appeared on WTKR local news channels and other awesome social media platforms. We were not only selected to pitch to the Shark Tanks, but we're crossing our fingers and eagerly waiting a hopefully air date. Our MVP is circling around Hampton Roads, getting our customer feedback so we can get the right product to our customers. We are anticipating with our minimum order of 3,000 units for our sales to increase to $240,000 net sales this year. And not to mention, we're expecting to increase growth rapidly through social media channels, websites, going to one of the largest trade shows next year, which hosts over 50,000 customers, getting strategic partnerships to enter into the retail space, as well as securing strong international partnerships globally. Together, we can make this product scale. Who's ready to scale with me? Thank you.
That's time.
Okay, thank you. And we're going to start our judge questions with the collab team.
Yes. Good job, Crystal. So I'd love to know what the product extension is or the brand extension is beyond this glove.
Next, the Angels team.
Great, and appreciated the enthusiasm. My question is, could you explain a little bit more around your go-to-market strategy and what traction that you had to, whether it be retailers or other areas?
And the ICAP team.
Yeah, good pitch. You're always one of the most enthusiastic folks I've ever encountered. So congratulations on that. I'm curious, in your customer discovery, in your talking to potential clients, what have you changed? What have you learned through the process, and how has that affected your design going forward?
And the floor is yours, Crystal.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for the questions. I'm happy to start with Marty. Thank you for that, Marty. So with the customer discovery, what we have changed is the gloves that are on the market today are very easy to get punctured, and which can cause painful abrasions if the spike goes through the glove, which can cause a disease called fish handler's disease. So what we're working on strategically with our engineers is the material. It's all about the material and safety, because that's the number one thing when you're gripping of any fish or any aquatic organism is safety. So we're working on that puncture resistant that can also eliminate someone to reuse the gloves multiple times versus just one and done, and they could continue to use and scale as well. The next question are product extension. Great question. My mind never stops. I'm always thinking about how can we expand the brand. We want to be a global product, not just a glove, but we want to incorporate innovative fishing tools. So fish rods, creating another extension of commercial fishing coats where they put their arms in there and they're secure, but attaching the glove scaler to that as well, and making sure their hands and their body is fully protected. We want to be a global household product and also license some of our products as well with the bigger players in the industry. And our go-to-market strategy in retail over other areas is getting our name out there, going and making our presence known. Once our customer sees our product, they get it. It's self-explanatory. So showing up to trade shows where there's large audience, getting on social media platform, using enthusiasts who loves and showcases our products, getting in events like this to show the public why there's a need just within our community right here in Hampton Roads, to show that you can grip and scale right out of the bay.
That's time.
Okay, thanks, Crystal.
Thank you.
Just wait for the judges real quick. Get a thumbs up when you guys are ready. Marty's ready. Good. Is that everybody? All the judges ready?
Yep.
Okay, moving on. Our next pitcher is going to be Carly Ryan with Ellipticraft.
Great. Okay.
Yep, go ahead.
1 in 3 people now report symptoms of an anxiety disorder. Mental health has replaced COVID as the new American pandemic. So it's not surprising that more people are looking towards outdoor activities and holistic exercise as ways to manage stress and improve overall wellness. Look, we know these types of things are good for us, right? And the science backs it up. And actually, the science around blue space exercise, or exercise around water, is even more compelling. So at Ellipticraft, we make a total health product for your body and mind. It's a personal watercraft that's powered by elliptical motion. So as you move your arms and your legs together, you have the sensation that you are literally running across the water. It's an immersive, empowering, and in the best way possible for you, addictive experience. Other key features of this product are its stability. You don't have to worry about falling in or getting wet. It enables a full body cardio workout, arms and legs together, and it's fully portable. We use inflatable pontoons. Our frame disassembles into bags. So you can actually fit this entire product in your car and take it wherever you'd like to stride. Now, the outdoor recreation market is enormous at $454 billion. It's big business for the state of Virginia, and that includes $3 billion annually in paddle sports hard equipment sales. To figure out how we'd attack that large market, we've done customer discovery. We've learned our target demographic is active women age 40 to 65. What they like most about this product is its stability. They don't want to get wet. Time and time again, this has been our most enthusiastic customer that we speak with, and it's who we'll target in our early marketing efforts. Now, in addition to those customer interviews and demos, we've taken this product to paddle sport retailers, and we were an exhibitor at the Chantilly Boat Show this year. So those discovery efforts have informed our business model, and we'll have 2 primary sales channels:
direct to consumer, and wholesale to marinas and resorts. At our target MSRP and 50% gross margins, we can reach over $1 million in revenue in our first year in market. And we believe that that is easily scalable to an 8-figure revenue business after 3 years. So I'm Carly Ryan, and I've spent my entire career helping people to get well. Now, bringing a physical product to market is no easy task, but I have a tremendous team around me, and together, we're going to make it happen. To date, we've won over $20,000 in grants and prizes. We've completed a friends and family round, and we've gone through 5 generations of advanced physical prototyping. We've been conducting customer demos on this product throughout the summer, and so we are now entering small batch production of our MVP. That will enable us to have units available for rent in local marinas this spring, followed shortly thereafter by our first direct-to-consumer sales. We believe Ellipticraft has the power to change the way people think and feel about exercise. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and stride above.
And that's time. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and unshare your screen. And we'll start with, this time, with the Angels team.
Thank you so much, Carly, for your presentation. I was wondering if you could outline what you understand your competitive marketplace is, who might be out there doing something similar. And if you have any customers lined up, you mentioned marinas, if you actually have any letters of intent with customers that would take your product at this time.
Okay, the ICAP team.
Hi, sorry, that would be me again. Very nice, Carly. I guess you mentioned that your target market or customers here were women, active women. So I was actually wondering the opposite. Why? What did you hear from men that makes you want to focus only on women?
And the collab team.
Great job, Carly. I am interested in whether or not this is a product that has adjacent, sort of a brand strategy. You'll build other things, or if it's just this one. No, I don't mean just this one. This is an interesting proposition, but is there a bigger play here where it has adjacent sales other than just the first one?
Sure. Maybe I'll start there and go backwards. Yeah, absolutely. We see our brand strategy is guided by that slogan, Stride Above. So that's a slogan to us that means resilience, and it stands for Blue Space Wellness, and it's about changing the way you feel about exercise. So we see opportunities for this product, of course, new models. There's accessory components that you can add on to this, coolers, dog carriers, things like that. And then there's a whole line of other blue space or outdoor fitness related things that we believe could fit under that Stride Above brand. Sun shirts, apparel, maybe other just kind of watercraft products or other types of outdoor fitness. So that is at the forefront of our minds, and it's definitely where we're going to start shifting our efforts towards that brand building activity as we enter this next phase of getting our product in market. William, there's nothing that men have told us that said we shouldn't focus on men. I think what we've just found is that time and time again, the women are our most enthusiastic customer. And we saw it at the boat show where we really talked to like hundreds of people over the weekend. We see it when we're down on the water. We see women on kayaks that like call us over and say, hey, what is that? I want one. And so it just happens so often that we feel like that's who we have to start with, to the extent that you have to narrow down your marketing a little bit and pick a focus group to start with. That's who we know is kind of like our most enthusiastic base. But obviously I have 2 men on my founding team. It's not that men don't like it. It's just, again, that's kind of been our demographic that really pops. And then CJ's parts competition. Yep, there are other water products on the market. There are water bikes. Hobie makes a stand-up pedal board. So there are other things that are sort of like this. We haven't seen another water elliptical exactly like this. And where we differentiate ourselves is, again, the ability to do that upper lower body workout, the stability of the product, and again, the portability. And we've had people tell us, hey, I've tried the water bikes. That looks a lot more fun. This looks cool. I'd like to try that. So
Okay, and thanks so much.
thank you.
Wait for the judges to give me a thumbs up. Good. Good. Okay, awesome. Our next pitcher is going to be Borden Edgerton with Infra SGA.
Getting myself up here. So thank you guys. Give me one sec.
Just a quick reminder to the judges to fill out the spreadsheet at the break, if you can do that, because we're going kind of fast.
Is that visible, please? Could you tell me?
Yep, it's all yours.
Floods are the #1 natural disaster in the United States. With pressures from increased downpour events and real estate development, an inch of rainfall can overwhelm a city's aging infrastructure. While infrastructure replacement is infeasible, green retrofits like urban bioretention could be the answer. Think of it like a rain garden suitable for the city. These systems act like giant water filters for our streets and sidewalks. And while urban bioretention solves pollution and flooding issues, the existing products are not yet cost feasible for wide adoption. The solution to this is Raft, bioretention made simple. Raft makes urban rain gardens quick and easy to install by simplifying the structure holding it, and the core proprietary feature is the post and panel assembly. We've lowered material costs, equipment costs, and labor costs with repeating component parts, properly sized for easy handling and reduced installation time. My name is Borden Edgerton, and I joined the team with unique industry experience to bring the product to market. The team's design professionals match our primary customer market, so our advantage was developing the Raft product from the customer's ideal solution. I've tested the customer market in Virginia with well over 100 meetings, company outings, office lunch and learns, and the response has been incredible. Furthermore, the US market for urban bioretention projects has revealed a $5.6 billion market with 8.5% annual growth. And our internal calculations revealed a US market of $6.4 billion, in line with that 8.5% annual growth estimate. This market growth is a result of compliance market. This is where state and local governments require developments to manage their stormwater runoff. Infra SGA will combine local business-to-business product sales with licensing distribution deals to beyond our local market, and are combined together to make that for our profit. We are targeting civil engineering firms with a large portfolio of urban public projects. Using my existing network, we host events to inform designers about the product, look for specifications on suitable projects, and the sales cycle for project opportunities is between 1 to 3 years as the project is designed, bid, and then finally ordered by the contractor. Since March, we have been successfully in completing our first 3 pilot projects, developed operational efficiencies, product improvements, supporting technical documents, and overhauled our complete website for an excellent customer experience. With this, we have focused heavily on customer outreach and seen a huge increase in traffic, and received by very promising engagement from social media exposure through Reddit and our online tracking systems. Considering our debt load, our GM less commissions is equal to 60 units sold annually. For context, a typical city block would need about 6 to 8 units, so approximately 6 to 8 projects opportunity over the year. Our recent sales outreach has been approaching 10 project opportunities with an approximation of 25% conversion rate.
That is time.
Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thanks. Go ahead and unshare your screen. And we're going to start with the questions, this time with the ICAP team.
I guess that's me. Good presentation. It's really evolved over time. I understand your customer is firms who are doing this stuff on behalf of cities. Help us understand the decision-making process within the city. Who owns this problem? Who actually ends up writing the check? And who decides to make this happen?
And the CoLab team?
I'd be curious to understand a little bit more about the materials that are used in the actual encasing. If there's a way to, can you almost 3D print some of them, or is it concrete, or what's kind of how is that made up?
And the Angels team.
Yeah, interesting idea in presentation. As someone who lives near the beach, definitely the flooding aspect. Yeah, my question is similar to the material. I noticed on your slide you had a pending patent. I was curious on what the patent is behind the product, similar to
All right, anything else? Let's see. Okay. Marty, to get yours, kind of talking about cities and municipalities. They're one of the many clients that we're going to have in this. It's not our primary focus since they're not necessarily the decision makers for what product goes on to a project, but they are heavy influencers. And to your question of who is influencing it, it's a combination of who is setting the regulation standards, which we are trying to comply with, or meeting certain criteria that they're trying to set. But there's also the idea that there are individuals who are influencers to the design teams that they're working with. So if they have a cooperation with a civil engineer, for instance, on a city-owned property, they might suggest using a certain product, but they can't necessarily tell the design team what to use exactly. Paul, with your question on materials, we've really focused on high-end materials for this because of the conditions that the product is under. Essentially, it's going to be always inundated in water. It's going to be exposed to a lot of salt potential for corrosion and heavy metals and a lot of pollution coming off the roadways. So we're using non-corrosive materials. The frames are fiber reinforced plastic, and the panels themselves are a higher grade concrete than you would typically see. So using 5,000 PSI, and any of the metal hardware that's used to attach things before it ships, those are all 316 stainless steel, and that's the higher grade. That's the highest, basically, marine grade that you can get to avoid any sort of conflicts with corrosion. And then Taylor, you asked about materials, but also about the patents. The patent that we have is approved in Australia and China, and it's based on the assembly process, not necessarily the materials, but how the product is situated together, which is the real value with the product, is how the speed of installation and the ease for a contractor. We are patent pending in the United States, Canada, and Europe, and we've only had our first pass. That's kind of our key to licensing and distribution revenue coming in.
That's time.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Wait to hear from the judges. Good, good, good. Okay, our next pitcher is going to be Johnny Stewart from StuTech.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
You're good? Okay, great.
Go ahead.
StuTech, launching the future of personal electric transportation. Urban congestion is a daily challenge. With dense traffic and overcrowded public transit, StuTech is poised to make a significant impact in reducing the cost of vehicle ownership and addressing the frustrations associated with long-distance commuting. With 103 Americans commuting 1 to 10 miles a day, demand for personal electric vehicles is growing. That's why we developed the Goblin S4, an exhilarating experience on and off road for business and pleasure. We give users the freedom to travel up to 60 miles per charge, free of carbon emissions. Brute force at the sound of a whisper. Folded up, stowed away, and that's something that you call personal. StuTech's business model is a 3-stage system. Learn about customers' behaviors, their likes and dislikes, build and manufacture key components that guarantee quality, expand to PEV accessories that increase rider safety and convenience. Putting $30,000 in our own in our own game, we were able to create a foundation for our business launch. From that, we have since opened an online retail store, created sales channels, and completed our MVP, and begun developing a marketing funnel for product pre-launch. In executing our business, we've learned that from Google Analytics that our target market consists of mainly males 18 to 54 who are automotive and sports enthusiasts interested in consumer electronics. selling direct to consumers, 80% online and 20% terrestrial, we were able to achieve $36,000 in revenue with doing little to no advertising. We are passionate about building in the US and creating skilled jobs right here in the Peninsula. This two-tech team possesses dynamic capabilities that include HR, product development, and securing intellectual property. Our quaint facility has the capacity to produce 20 units monthly, all while securing local partnerships for production ramp-up. Our product has undergone vigorous validation, cementing our position as a trusted player in the market. We have a consumer satisfaction rating of 90%, and they report on an average of saving $400 a month just by parking the car. And we received 3 pre-orders. I think that's pretty awesome. Expand. So we're expanding beyond. With new proprietary products we are developing, you're not going to want to miss this ride. StuTech, from humble beginnings and deeply rooted family values, understands the importance of building a safer and more sustainable future for our loved ones. We're not just in the business of making PEVs, but we're in the business of transforming the way that you live. Thank you.
That's time.
Okay, thanks. Please unshare your screen. And we're going to begin our questions this time with the CoLab team.
Great job. I'm excited about this. I'm laughing because Tim is such an electric vehicle guy, so he's sort of smiling big up there. I'm curious about regulatory issues to get this product on the market. I just know that the scooter world, thank God for Lime, has really made a way for you. But what kind of regulatory challenges do you have for riders and licensure and things like that for getting people on them?
And the Angels team.
Hi there. Thank you for your presentation. I have a scooter, so I'm a big scooter fan. A little confused. Is this product a scooter or an accessory onto a scooter? And then if it is one or the other, can you expand upon what your competition looks like in the market? Because this isn't a new market, it's a growing market. And so who is your immediate competitor, or what your competitive space looks like?
And the ICAP team.
Hi, excuse me. Hi, thanks for the very nice presentation. I'm not yet an electric vehicle user, and possibly I'm just beyond the upper end of your customer segment definition as well, in terms of age. But so I was wondering if I was going to ask about competition, but that's been asked. I wonder if you could talk me through what you've heard from your customers that would make this a must-have versus a nice-to-have.
I'll start when you start, Jenny.
All right, great. So regulatory issues. So that varies from state to state. However, in Virginia and places like California and Texas, it's pretty wide open. The only regulations on that in Virginia is that you have to abide by e-bike rules. So that's stay on the bike lane and don't ride on the sidewalk. Right now, it's a great area to be in because these vehicles do not need a license or insurance. So you can kind of get on there and get where you need to go without having to worry about the burden of paying that monthly payment or paying registration fees. So that's the great, really great aspect of this. And the next question is the scooter accessory, for the scooter accessories. So this is a scooter. So our main form of business is manufacturing this scooter right here. However, with the team that we have of engineers, we're able to integrate specific accessories like our backpack that syncs in with the scooter that makes it turn smooth as well. So we've been doing a lot of research on user safety, and we think that's a huge position to be in to develop a new product that no other company has. And also the must-haves versus the nice-to-haves. Right now, we go to a lot of rider events with different groups like DC and New York, and they have a huge, great group of people who ride these scooters and these PEVs. And performance and distance is definitely a must-have. So having a scooter that can get you above 45 miles per hour and get you to 60 to 70 miles per charge is what they're running right now. So nice to haves are kind of the flashy lights and the bells and whistles, but we are kind of at the base, building that from the ground up. So we're definitely giving the customers what they want with this model. And also too, we're marketing it as a utility vehicle too that no other company is doing. So we're able to market this in a way that you could attach a trailer to. You could attach these integrated accessories to, and
time.
Okay, thank you. Wait for the judges to give me a thumbs up. Got it. Final judge. Good, okay, awesome. Our next pitcher before our break is going to be Ian Holloman with Keep Up.
Can y'all see everything?
We can, and the
right.
floor is yours.
All right, well, let's get started. Staying in touch with those in your network can be extremely difficult, especially when balancing your career and day-to-day life. The difficulties we experience in this process is what I intend to solve. Meet James. He's a consultant at Accenture who previously struggled to maintain his relationships with old mentors, co-workers, and other professional connections. Like many of us, at one point, James had no system set in place to stay in touch with people. And even when he tried to create his own system, he found himself digging through emails and text messages frequently, looking through various social networks to remember personal details, writing down a lot of those details in various notes apps, and he had to navigate complex workplace CRMs and track special occasions in his personal calendars. The solution for him was Keep Up, equipped with personalized reminders to remember the information, contact profiles to track all important info, and AI email generation plus automation, generally speaking, bringing all important features under one roof. To the right, we have screenshots from our original MVP, which launched in May 2023. We've since discontinued it to put money into the second version we're building. We had 11 early access signups and 4 paying users. We were recently, as of yesterday, accepted into startup studios, and the second version we're going to be building will be built on Bubble, which is a no-code builder. To the left, we have our TAM calculations, and I want to reiterate, this is based on total potential customers times annual per customer revenue. And to the right, we have the types of people we included in the calculations. Our reasoning for choosing salespeople, business owners, and consultants is because of what we learned during customer discovery, notably that they all have the motivators of 1, working long hours, 2, frequently meeting new people, and 3, they often have some sort of monetary incentive to maintain their relationships. Here we have our anticipated pricing. My co-founder and I have a 10-month runway, which gives us plenty of breathing room before we both have full-time jobs post-grad and thus more money to put into the business. Here we have Keep Up's main competitors, Dex and Clay. They're both comparable in terms of price, but Keep Up's main differentiating factor will be the AI email generation and automation internal to Keep Up. Here we have our team. My name is Ian Holloman. I'm the CEO handling all marketing and administrative tasks. Ben Wright's our CTO. He also goes to CNU handling all coding. Dr. Donaldson is an 8-time CEO of public and private companies, and Aaron Hatfield's a customer success manager at a logistics startup. Now, we may not have decades of industry-specific experience, but we've networked relentlessly for all the opportunities we've had, whether it was Ben's internship in software engineering at L3 Harris or my audit internship at PB Mares. And despite that industry-specific experience, I can say with complete conviction that we are the right people to solve this problem because we are our own customers. Thank you.
Nice time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll start with the first team, the Angels team.
Absolutely. First, I'd like to applaud you for starting a company while in college. Instead of doing all the other extracurricular activities, you decided to go down the entrepreneurship route, which I appreciate. Yeah, my question is, it's an interesting start and entrance into the marketplace for being able to kind of provide a more like personalized relationship that you're building with someone leveraging software. Can you talk a little bit more on kind of how you see the product as well as the company evolving over the next few iterations?
And next, the ICAP team.
Yeah, thanks. First of all, tell Willie I said hi. He was a mentor of mine back when I was much younger. Dr. Willie. I got to tell you, we've all seen gajillions of these kind of systems, and that doesn't mean it isn't a good idea. But I want to understand, similar to what Willie said earlier, why is this a must-have instead of a nice-to-have?
And the CoLab team.
Yeah, Marty took my he took my questions. I got to pivot here. I guess one thing I would, how do you, in such a crowded space, I'm going to stay on that theme of competition and just the crowded space. How do you make this as sticky as possible? Because even if the other solutions aren't ideal, there's still amount of stickiness to them because they have just been entrenched in people's lives. So I'd love to, again, tagging along with Marty's question, just understand a little bit more about how you're going to keep these companies, increase the lifetime value of these customers.
Okay. Yeah. So in terms of answering the initial question, talking about how we see it evolving over the years, a big thing is going to be more integrations. That's one of the biggest things we learned through the customer discovery calls we had before we started building the product. People being able to import context from every social network, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, the phones set like their personal contacts on their phone, Gmail, Superhuman. So that's one of the main ways we see it evolving, as well as being able to automate other forms of communication instead of just emails, maybe text messages as well in further iterations. In terms of why I would say it's a must-have, I would say it's a must-have because the current systems that are in place are not satisfactory in terms of managing people's internal network. Of course, workplaces, sales teams, large organizations, they have, big complex, CRMs like Salesforce or HubSpot. But in terms of, maintaining your own personal relationships, they don't really solve that exact problem of, having that element of personalization and that element of thoughtfulness of remembering certain key details. And in terms of what we see in terms of kind of making the product more sticky, I think above all is going to be ease of use. That was probably the biggest thing we learned. So the product being fast, the product being able to, have a mobile app as well. So people don't just have to do it on their laptop or one of those devices, and just making it more convenient than what's currently in place. One of the previous slides I have on the customer dilemma highlighted how I saw a lot of people in customer discovery doing this, having 7, 10, sometimes 15 different touch points they had to go through. So I think that ease of use is what's going to make it sticky in the long term. And thank you.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay. Judges, for everybody else, we're going to take a 3-minute break. And just to remind the judges during this break, if you could fill out the spreadsheets that you all have so that that information is captured. And we'll see everybody back in 3 minutes, which would be about 6:56 by my clock. Welcome back, everybody. As soon as I see all the judges back online, we can get started. Chris, you're here. And just waiting on one more judge. Okay, ready to get started, I think. Okay, please welcome our next pitcher, Chris Conklin with Vino Visa.
All right, sharing my screen. All right, everybody see it okay?
We can.
Okay, give me one sec. Hold up. Okay. Good evening and welcome to our Vino Visa pitch. We are poised to revolutionize the wine and winery industry through an innovative online marketplace designed to connect wine enthusiasts with wineries. The wine tourism industry is global, year-round, and crosses generational, wealth, and location boundaries. By 2033, the USA is projected to reach over $46 billion in wine tourism alone. Traditional wine tourism is fragmented, time-consuming, and lacks personalization. Wineries struggle to connect with wine enthusiasts and grow their customer bases. Wine lovers want a convenient way to discover new wineries and create memorable journeys. Enter Vino Visa, a free-to-consumer mobile application that bridges the gap between consumers, wineries, and tourism. Vino Visa serves as a digital passport that allows users to discover wineries, rate wines, and customize their preferences. Wineries will upload their entire wine collection to streamline the user experience. Vino Visa will also partner with tourism bureaus to enhance traffic to wineries through easy-to-use e-commerce solutions. Judges, we are Vino Visa. Sip, share, socialize. Vino Visa serves as a central connecting point between consumers, wineries, and tourism bureaus. We bring research, booking, reviews, and e-commerce under a single personalized umbrella consumers can use again and again to keep their favorites at their fingertips. Our targets are shown in the B2C and B2B verticals with 4 cohorts each. The Vino Visa team has carefully considered each cohort's priorities, including functionality, user experience, features, and cost. We have 6 revenue streams across our B2B and B2C markets. Our model was built in coordination with the great team at Sandbox. In Richmond, our primary effort is to win in Virginia in 2025. In 2026, we expand to California, Washington, Texas, Oregon, and New York. Our model includes forecasted costs for marketing, legal, research and development, and future hires. Our MVP is in development now with a February 2024 release date. Vino Visa is not just about wine. It's about creating an unforgettable experience and fostering a global wine community. Join us in disrupting the wine tourism landscape and unlock the immense potential of this lucrative market. We are asking for help in 3 areas. First, introductions to investors. Second, we are actively looking for a strategic advisor with experience in scaling an app marketplace. And last, we're asking you to connect us with people you know in the winery business. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Thank you. You want to unshare your screen? And we'll start this time with the ICAP team.
Hi, that would be me again. So, hello, Chris. I get, what crosses my mind is I love wine and I love going to wineries, but I've never gone on a tour other than one that I've just looked up on Google myself and put together my own tour. So I really would like to hear from you, whether you see the B2B or the B2C as your primary opportunity here.
And the collab team?
I was curious about your competition and the competitive landscape. I'm a wine lover too, and like to learn from other people. So I'm just curious what else is out there.
And the Angels team?
Hey there, thank you for your presentation. We went really fast to that presentation and I saw your financial forecast and it had some really, really aggressive, really big numbers. I'd like you to further explain how you're going to make that money, like exactly how you're going to make that money. I spent a great deal of time in the Sonoma Valley area, in the Napa Valley area, and I know there's a ton of apps out there. So help me understand how you're going to attract my interest and make money off of my eyeballs.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, you go right ahead.
Okay, so the first question was addressing the B2B versus B2C, which one we see as the primary. We really see them both as the primary, given the fact that we have to get the wineries on board, and then we also have to attract the users, because we're going to generate revenue from the wineries. They're going to pay an annual subscription, and then we're also going to generate revenue from the amount of users that are on the apps through display ads, through e-commerce options in the app. So they are intertwined, but our immediate 2 goals are users and wineries on board. Second question was the competitive landscape. There's a couple of big hitters in the competitive landscape that are not really in our vertical. One is Vivino. It's the #1 wine app in the world, and you can use that to scan it at winery or at stores, and you can order wine from your phone. But they don't touch the winery landscape. They have suggested tourist destinations within the app. There is also apps in California, and those are regionally based, supported by the local tourism bureaus. And that's really the competitive land. There's another one called Wine Pass, where you can buy kind of access to wineries who participate in it. But there's not one wine app that spans even the statewide or countrywide. And then how we're going to make money. If you go back to the, and this is an in-depth conversation, but the 6 revenue streams is how we're going to make money. 1 with the wineries, 2 with display ads, 2 with data aggregation. We're going to sell the audience member data back to other marketers, partnerships, and then e-commerce options with the wine tourism bureaus. One thing we found in our customer discovery is that the wine tourism bureaus really struggle to push out their wine trails, and it's really hard to buy their wine passes because they're buried in local tourism bureau websites 3-4 pages down. It's not easy to find it. So that's one of our ways. We have 6 streams, and that's one of them.
That's time.
Okay, thank you. And wait on the judges real quick. Christina, are you ready?
I am
I'll
ready.
introduce you in just a second.
Okay.
Good from the judges. Everybody's good? Okay. Please welcome our next pitcher, Christina Kimbrough from Free Life.
Okay, share screen. Everyone see? Okay. So my name is Christina, and in this first slide, I am currently partying there. This was 10 years ago, going over the top. And what you don't see in this photo is the blackout, the addiction that followed that I struggled with for 10 years. So I struggled for 10 years with active addiction, and I was not alone, am not alone, but I am now currently sober. But over 60% of adults in the country report feeling lonely, and 20 million people in the country are currently struggling with an addiction to alcohol. And of those, 20 to 40% of those will relapse, or upon quitting, relapse or replace alcohol with a cross addiction. I present my company, Free Life. We are a social recovery platform that aims to help people stay sober and build community in a culture inundated with alcohol. So we do this through a network of holistic communities based on 3 different pillars of wellness. And what makes us different is that when I was getting sober, I was told to just go to 12-step and recovery meetings, and that was it. But healing takes a 3-pronged approach. That's mental, physical, and social. So our business model would be software as a service. We currently have a website that acts this way, but eventually we'd love to create an app that shows individuals across the country how to create alcohol-free, substance-free events in their community that support wellness and long-term sobriety. So there are various stages of recovery, and those so people are simply choosing to live a substance-free life. We want to form nationwide chapters that support sobriety and wellness events. Currently, since the last pitch, we have had over 400 people in attendance. 75 people have returned for regular events. We've successfully transitioned to holding paid events, connected with 5 to 7 large organizations that help people get sober, and are currently fostering partnerships with over 15 professionals in the addiction and recovery space. We've been sponsored with over $1,000 worth of non-alcoholic beverages and hosted 2 professional networking events with 100+ people in attendance, where they were able to connect and form relationships without alcohol. So we've also hosted, like I said, 2 professional networking events with mocktails and non-alcoholic beverages. We've had 7 wellness events, including yoga, meditation, and cold exposure. 2 sober storytelling events. This is my favorite. 2 different people in recovery telling their stories and encouraging others to get sober. We've connected to alcohol-free brands and created 10 relationships formed with recovery-based establishment, and we've increased our social media outreach by 700%. Here's our team, Christina and Mike. He is our media and outreach. Thank you so much. I am Free Life.
That's time.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, unshare your screen. And we'll start this time with the questions with the collab team.
Great. I think that's me. Thanks, Christina. So I would love to understand more about the financial model, just the software as a service, in terms of what are you thinking about in terms of pricing? And I know that you listed out some some tears. So love to hear more.
And the Angels team?
Yeah, sure. So mine question is a little bit more kind of like where you would like for the company to go. And you mentioned that you would like to build a social online network. I think one of the things that has been coming to the front and center of the news cycle recently is how like Facebook has created, as well as social media companies have created more distance, and they have really created more togetherness. So I'm curious on how your application could change that perception, as well as like what you would do differently.
And the ICAP team.
Yeah, so the engineer in me always wants to start with first principles. I'm curious what evidence there is, science-based or even good anecdotal evidence, that it works.
Awesome. Okay, financial model. So the idea would be to be a subscription-based or membership-based model. So you would pay for the app initially, and then also get access to all local events wherever you are, and then also online programming to help you get and stay sober. And then where do I see it going? Ideally, this would, nationwide, I'd love to have chapters, franchise, which always makes me think of McDonald's, but we'd franchise it, right? So you would have local chapter leaders with people leading the 3 types of events that I listed. And I love the question about what we would do differently. So then in the landscape currently, there's just online recovery or in person. We would do a blend. Honestly, you would use our app to go then create relationships in real life. So it would almost be like a Tinder for sober people. So like if you're sober, you can meet someone wherever you go through our app, because when you're traveling or when you're sober, it is very hard to exist as a person that is sober in a world inundated with alcohol. And evidence-based, to be honest, a lot of the evidence that there is right now, things aren't working in the addiction space. Things are through the roof, like addictions through the roof. So I don't necessarily have a stat. We're new. We're trying something different because the traditional models are failing us. I personally started this because Alcoholics Anonymous 12 step traditional was not working for me. I needed to find a community. I didn't have a community. And so they say, build it if you can't find it. So I'm currently building that model. And I do have anecdotal evidence, hundreds. I can't even tell you how many people I interact with that say, I'm isolated, I'm alone. And we know that isolation breeds more addiction. Thank you.
Awesome. That is time. And for those wondering, it is pure random how pictures were ordered. So it was not planned. It was pure randomness.
Okay. So thanks. Wait for the thumbs up from the judges. Got it. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay, ready for our next picture? That's going to be Drew Keever with Advisor Finder.
Hopefully you all can see my screen, so I'll just go ahead and get started.
That's fine. Go ahead.
We launched less than a year ago, and now we are working with a Fortune 50 financial institution. Hi, I'm Drew, one of the co-founders of Advisor Finder. We built a search engine where people find, research, and connect with financial advisors. Choosing to work with a financial advisor is a really big decision, and our platform helps people make the right choice. Choosing the wrong advisor could really cost you, so that's why we built Advisor Finder. On our platform, you can search for an advisor from any firm, and each advisor has a unique profile that explains what they do, how much they charge, and who they typically work with. What differentiates us is our product design. The wealth management industry has not kept up with consumer expectations, and our platform is designed for clients, not just for the advisors. Our unique approach to solving this problem has led to really positive results so far. Now, I won't go into all these metrics, but I will share one recent success story of a client who used Advisor Finder. He was so happy with his experience that he left us a 5-star review saying how we helped him save many hours of time. Now, this is just one example of the many clients we have helped. Since we launched in January, we've noticed some trends in who is using our product. And it's mostly parents and couples between the ages of 35 to 54. They live in major metropolitan areas, and they travel frequently. So how do we make money? We charge a subscription fee for advisors to be listed on our platform. And there are 300,000 financial advisors serving 62 million clients in the US. And we're starting with advisors because we know this space the best, but it also allows us to wedge ourselves into much larger opportunities. And so over the next few years, we will be expanding our platform to other financial professions such as tax accountants and estate attorneys. Our team started in June of 2022. We built a fully functional product in 6 months, and we launched in January 2023. Now we are signing our first multi-year deal with a Fortune 50 financial institution, and we're considering capitalizing on our growth by raising our seed round. And we've accomplished all of this without raising any outside capital up until this point. My name is Drew Keever, co-founder of Advisor Finder. Our team has the domain and technical expertise that's necessary to be the market leader, and we're well on our way. Our CEO was an advisor with Merrill Lynch Private Wealth, and during his career, he saw this problem from both sides. Now, before I finish, I just want to say thank you to this community for supporting us and our vision. We're excited to continue building and growing Advisor Finder while moving the wealth management industry forward. Thank you.
And that's time.
Thank you. And we're going to start this time with questions with the Angels team.
Drew, nice to see you again. Very nice presentation.
Thank you. Great to see you.
Glad to see that we have some images of your app. I don't think I've had those kind of visuals before, so that's really great to see the progress that you've made. Tell us a little bit about your current users, the number of advisor firms you have signed up at this point, any growth projections that you've got there, and then the number of individuals that have utilized your app. What kind of traction have you gotten?
And the ICAP team?
Hi, sorry, that would be me again. Yeah, I guess I was thinking a little bit more about to hear a bit of clarity from you, please, on the customer segment. I wasn't clear if you were targeting people who are new into the concept of investing money and wanting a financial advisor, or had some experience of it already and wanting to change. And therefore, linked to that, how do you reach out to those to access those individuals?
And the CoLab team.
Drew, great to see you again. Nice work. I want to talk about your Fortune 50 partner. Can you tell me what they articulated was the problem you are solving for them and why they're willing to contract with you?
And you can go ahead and answer whatever you want, Drew.
Yes. So thank you all again for your time. So I'll first start with the question from CJ. So we currently have 185 financial advisors listed on our platform, and we work with many different firms. Like, can't really give you the exact number off the top of my head, but we work with broker dealers, registered investment advisors, and the size of those firms may vary. And then so on the client side, the number of individuals, since we launched, we've had over 600 people use our product to schedule a meeting with an advisor. And I can't really get into much more specifics on that, but at a high level, hopefully that gives you an idea for how many users have used our product. And Mr. McFeet, you asked about who's using our product from the perspective of whether or not they're experienced with investing or if they work with an advisor. And in most cases, it's actually people who have already worked with an advisor in some capacity, and they likely have some experience with investing. We kind of started out this journey thinking that we might be able to go after new investors, but over the last 10, 11 months, we've realized that people who are new to investing might not know that there's even a professional who can help them. So our audience is typically people who already have some experience with investing. And then Evan's question around the Fortune 50 customer and what problem are we solving for them? These legacy financial institutions, they know that they're kind of behind the 8 ball when it comes to product design and keeping up with consumer expectations from a digital marketing perspective. So the problem we're solving for them is the fact that they're struggling to connect with the next generation of investors in a way that kind of meets that next generation where they're already searching. So They know people are searching online, and the Fortune 50 doesn't have the best online presence. So that's the problem we're helping solve, is improving their online presence and making it easier for the next generation of investors to connect with their advisors.
And that's time.
Okay, thanks. Just wait for a thumbs up from the judges. Got it. 1, 2, 3. Good. Ready for our next pitcher? Please welcome Tina McCula from Songgram.
All right, can you hear me and see my slides?
We can.
Great. Daryl wakes up, grabs his phone, turns his alarm off, glances at the date, and realizes today is his wife's birthday and he has forgotten. Wait a minute. But Daryl is not alone. 33% of Americans say they forget a partner's birthday. And at the last minute, there's not a lot of options. But I have the solution. My name is Tina McCula, and I would like to introduce to you Songgram, the first customizable musical online card. So Daryl downloads the app to his phone. He picks birthday. He picks a genre, pop. He types in a couple of descriptors, Blue Eyes, 25th birthday. He hits send, and Monica will now receive notification that she has a Songgram.
With your big blue eyes, you look so fine. Let's drink a toast to 25 under the stars.
So Songgram saves the birthday. Let's take a look at how it stacks up to the competition. As you can see, it's the only one that checks all the boxes, including customized visual image and customized musical message. The global greeting card market is huge and only growing, expected to reach 21 billion by 2030. Our target market, millennials and Gen Z. Why? Because they're the top purchasers of online music and greeting cards. We hope to capture a modest 3,000 customers after our first year of launch. We have a freemium business model, and single card purchases, monthly and yearly subscriptions are available. And we will be profitable even with 3,000 customers post year 1 launch. Additional revenue streams would include third-party advertising and licensing technology once patents are in place. So I will be heading up the Songgram team, and I'm Tina McCula. And for the past 25 years, I've been working with nonprofits and schools in our area to create songs that educate, celebrate, and inspire. And now it's time to bring Songgram to the market. I will be leveraging my relationships with local producers and songwriters, and I'm building the team, and I have a couple of app developers in line. So post-launch year 1 is our timeline with a robust marketing campaign, and $150,000 is the required capital to launch Songgram, and that would take us through 24 months to develop, launch, maintain the app, IP and copyrights, and salaries and marketing. So partner with Songgram. We're looking for investors, tech experts, business advisors, and creators. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll be happy to try to answer any of your questions.
And that's time.
Okay, go ahead and unshare your screen. And we're going to start this time with the ICAP team.
Yasmi, I'm not quite sure how to ask this question, but I'll do my best. I get that Gen Z and millennials are more likely to buy things like this. But help me understand the discussions you've had with that demographic, as opposed to maybe older guys who forget stuff. Why Gen Z and millennials and not some of the rest of us?
And next, the collab team. Or sorry, the Angels team. No, the collab team. Yep.
All right. Yeah, I'd like to just understand if there is a channel partner, a large channel partner that you could use, or channel partners that you could use to pulse this out and try to capture kind of low-hanging fruit and early adopters versus trying to kind of go after it on a kind of individual level.
And the Angels team.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess, can you talk a little bit more about what traction you have today, as well as with the preliminary?
I'm not hearing him. Are you guys?
I think it's an internet problem on his side. Why don't we go ahead and just start answering the questions then?
Okay. To Marty's question, why Gen Z? So obviously we have to start with somewhere. So we're starting with that market since they are the top purchasers of online music and greeting cards. But yes, definitely once we put our focus and expand, yes, I would definitely like to expand the market to include anybody who forgets special occasions and birthdays. So to the question about channel partners, that is a possibility, and we were looking into doing that like after we launch and have the IP, because it's going to be like a utility patent, because there's nothing new, but the way that it's all put together will be new in the customization. So then we were thinking of, once that is in place, of approaching, you know, existing online greeting card companies and trying to license that technology or partner with them. And I didn't hear the last question about
Taylor's question was, can you speak more about your traction to date?
Okay, so I am a songwriter that has been creating personalized songs for people, you know, one at a time, for weddings and all special occasions. But that is a very time and labor intensive and expensive gift to give somebody. So I know that people love this and they want it, but it's just now with this app, it's really making it affordable to anyone at the click of just downloading the app. So thank you.
That's time.
Okay, thank you. Wait for the judges. Good, good. Taylor, you good? Okay. Our next pitchers, please welcome Michelle King from Game On Cafe. And the floor is yours, Michelle.
Thank you. Growing up in a military family, I found that no matter where my dad was stationed, I was fluent in the language, the universal language of play. Whether I played a traditional sport, a board game, or a video game, play connected me to others, and I felt a sense of belonging. With 3 billion gamers in the world, I know I'll never be alone. Now, there are different types of establishments that focus on one area of gaming, with 844 board game cafes, 650 cyber cafes, and thousands of sports bars in the United States. But my Game On Cafe will be the first to embrace them all. My name is Michelle King, and I've been a professor at William & Mary for 24 years. In the last 3 years, I've been the director of esports, where I built from the ground up a thriving academic and competitive esports program. Since winning Star Peninsula in March, I have successfully completed the iCore program, conducted customer discovery interviews, and I continue to meet weekly or monthly with my ICAP mentors. My business model, Canvas, a Game On Cafe proposition, is the creating opportunities to connect, network, and build community while enhancing social interactions. Now, being in the Williamsburg area, if we were to take 10% of the 8,000 William & Mary population who identify as active gamers, and in the estimated 30% as passive gamers, and calculated their $6 pay-to-play purchase, $10 in food sales for a week, the Game On Cafe could generate approximately $50,000 in revenue. But with the help of the iCore and customer discovery interviews, the preliminary research validated the hypotheses that 80% of gamers play at least 10 hours a week, and 63% of those gamers seeking in-person social interaction are 40% likely to spend money at the Game On Cafe. Revenue comes from the pay-to-play purchases, membership subscriptions, tournaments, watch parties, and so much more. But what will get gamers out of their pajamas and leave the comfort of their own homes to come to a cafe Well, it is time to test how we will build customer relationships through state-of-the-art gaming environment with a cozy vibe that will offer high-end, user-friendly experience. I need your help to level up as I construct a true, tried and true prototype to franchise. I'm currently in talks with a prominent university for a beta site, and this grant will assist the MVP of a location to test this concept as I invest the money to acquire gaming stations and recruit a talented team. Welcome to the Game On Cafe, where there's always a game on the table, a game on the television, and a game on the computer. Some may say carpe diem, seize the day. I say carpe ludum, seize the play. Game on. Thank you.
That's time.
Okay, thank you. We'll start our questions this time with the CoLab team.
Great. Thanks, Michelle. There's a lot of interest in esports these days in terms of seed investments and sort of a growing trend. I'm interested in how you're going to manage the space with big TVs, people on the small TV, people with the headphones on. Like, how does that become a sort of collaborative environment, since I will no longer go to dinner with my teenagers if there's a TV?
And the Angels team.
So, wow, this is an interesting concept. And I appreciate your presentation. I like your energy to this. I guess my question is around, how far you are in really discovering what a franchise system would look like for this, and if you've gotten any interest from experienced franchise type and investors or anybody in that kind of industry, that any kind of customer discovery, if you will, that this is a franchisable business model.
And the ICAP team.
Sorry, I was muted there. So, Michelle, delighted to hear that you've been accessing ICAP. I hope you continue to do so. My question is kind of related to, I think, what the others were asking. I was going to ask about your competitive advantage, but actually I was wondering, are you really in the cafe social business and providing games, or are you in the game business and doing it in a cafe setting, social setting?
Okay, you can just go ahead, Michelle.
Sure. So to Evan's question, I totally get it. I have a 20-year-old son, and it's like, okay, if we're going to go out, we're going to go out, and no TV, no distraction. The beauty of this environment that I want to create is that imagine walking into the cafe, there will be vignettes. So one area will be the board games to your table, customize that you spin, you interact there. Then there's going to be another area where you can walk in, there'll be a glass wall, go into there. There will be some video games in there as well. And then another section will have the televisions with the traditional sports on there showing. So you can go in, you can pick and choose, bespoke, if you will, what kind of experience you want, but it's all right there, surrounded by play, which you can learn more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation. So wrap that up in play and enjoy your time with your kids there. CJ, with your question about franchising in the system there, yes, so there's a lot of interest, and I really just need a location to test this out. And like I mentioned, I do have a beta site opportunity. So to put this in a college town, and this is where a lot of that traction will be. So put it into that college town, see what that traction is, and be able to package in a unique way that it's not just a board game or just a cyber cafe, but it's a combination of all of those. And then William, your question too about is it a game and social or game? You could go to almost any brewery and they have an afterthought table of games. Yes, you can pick up a game and play, but this is truly one of those where you're going in, you can have the food and beverages, but we bring those games to your table. And if you don't know how to play a game or have enough people to play the game, our employees will play with you. They are trained on how to do that as well. Thank you.
That's time.
Thank you.
Thanks. Wait for the judges to tell me they're ready. Good, good, good. Okay. Our final pitcher this evening will be Jeremy Swack and Arej Vij from Forentify.
All right. Good to start.
Yep, go ahead.
Great. Take a look at these photos of Donald Trump, Pope Francis, and the explosion near the Pentagon. As realistic as they seem, they're actually 100% fake, generated by AI. With the public release of programs like DALL-E and Midjourney, it's easier than ever to produce and share realistic images that promote a misleading narrative. In fact, experts predict that as much as 90% of online content may be synthetically generated by 2026. That's a huge problem for social media platforms who for years have been under pressure to crack down on misleading online content. Companies like Meta and Google have faced boycotts by advertisers and users, and even subpoenas by Congress over this issue. As a result, these companies have spent hundreds of millions of dollars towards fact-checking content. Bloomberg values the deepfake detection industry alone at $3.86 billion and projects it'll grow at a rate of 42% each year.
That's why we're creating Forentify, an all-in-one manipulated media detector. We're leveraging cutting-edge computer vision research to build a platform with the most powerful detection algorithms available on the market. To ensure our platform can detect a wide array of different types of digital manipulations, we're utilizing over 2 terabytes of training data to train 8 proprietary machine learning models. And we're not stopping at detection. To build trust with users, our detection models have built-in methods that explain frame by frame how a model came to its conclusion. That's what sets us apart from our competitors. Here's a real screenshot of Forentify. Users can upload media to the site and receive a digital forensics report. Since last month's micro pitch, we've developed the first model to Forentify, which detects facial and voice manipulations in videos. This model has accurately detected that the video is synthetically modified, flagged the specific pixels that show signs of manipulation, and extracted these manipulated sections for the user. We've won 2 grants this year from Microsoft's Democracy Forward team to support our efforts at Forentify. This week, we deployed the first detection model to the platform, and we're on track to deploy 3 more by the end of this year. We believe that Forentify has immediate market potential through a B2B subscription model. Through our API, customers will be able to integrate Forentify directly into their platforms to automatically gauge the authenticity of user-uploaded content. Imagine Facebook being able to auto-flag images that appear to be fake instead of relying on analysts to manually cull through thousands of posts each day. After launching our MVP, we have 2 priorities. First, beta test Forentify to ensure it aligns with the needs of our digital landscape. And second, build strategic partnerships to demonstrate and publicize the use cases of Forentify. These initiatives will situate us well to monetize our platform ahead of the 2024 November election.
For the last 3 years, Jeremy and I have been leading Disinfolab, the country's first undergraduate-led disinformation think tank. We publish cutting-edge research, work with NATO headquarters, and even develop software for former U.S. cabinet officials. Now we're using our software engineering backgrounds to build Forentify. Thank you.
And that's time. Okay, thank you. Please unshare your screen. There you go. And we're going to start this time with the Angels team.
Wow, very, very impressive. So can you describe a little bit to us the value proposition that Microsoft saw in the software that you're developing or the approach that you're taking, so we understand that a little bit better?
Next, the ICAP team.
I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to jettison my ICAP relationship for here for a second. Putting my investor hat on. Obviously, everybody is talking about this. I mean, Meta announced something today that they're going to do some of this stuff. Why you guys? What makes you think you can take on Google and Microsoft or be bought by Microsoft and Meta? Why you guys?
And the Colab team.
I'd be interested, kind of following that. What's your IP around this? What is the differentiator here versus some of the other players in the market that are trying to solve the same thing?
Yeah, so CJ, to start with your question, so the value proposition surrounding what Microsoft saw in us to award us those 2 grants, so really it's around our novel approach to detecting manipulated media. A lot of other companies and platforms that are trying to do a similar thing They're focusing on low-hanging fruit and detecting things like images, and rather than the crucial types of digital manipulations and cheap fakes and deep fakes that we're able to detect. And when we've presented this to Microsoft, they've seen the immense value that a platform like this can provide and how there's not an alternative solution out there on the market right now. And Marty, in terms of, everyone is talking about generative AI, everyone is interested in, detecting this type of content. Why us? I think that boils down to a few things. One is myself and Arj's background in both technology and the policy background. I think when people talk about this issue, they tend to focus either on the policy implications behind it or simply on the software engineering aspect. Myself and Arj's background allow us to really leverage both viewpoints from our 7.5 years co-directing DisinfoLab, which is an undergraduate-led mis and disinformation think tank at the college. With that background, we know how to release these models in a safe and efficient way that allows us to be the one that takes on this problem.
To the point of the IP question, we have a technical moat which makes replicating for Entify difficult for two reasons. The first is our proprietary set of training data to the tune of about 2 terabytes. And the second is our development in-house of 8 machine learning models. Now, in terms of how licensing may work, we're actually meeting with an IP lawyer tomorrow to learn more about potential legal protections that we'll be able to pursue for the product. But we see a strong technical moat and looking forward to what comes out for Entify. Thank you.
Last time.
Okay. We're good.
I think that's it, Gary.
Okay. Let the judges know what's next.
We powered through all 12. And judges, you should have received a Zoom link so you all can excuse yourself and start the bloodbath. I'm glad I'm not a judge because what a tough competition this year. It's exactly what we were hoping for. To remind everybody, this is a platform just to validate your idea. So from where things started, from validation to where they are today, you all did a great job. So we're judges, you are excused to start your deliberations, and then we will see you in a few minutes. For the rest of us, we're gonna keep this party train rolling. We have I'm super excited to announce Steve Waddell as our keynote speaker tonight. Steve is the president and CEO of Nasoni, and Steve's journey, it really is a testament to the relentlessness and innovation and entrepreneurial spirit that he has. He first began his career engineering some of the world's most advanced nuclear powered vessels, and then he made waves in the entrepreneurial side, and he first appeared to start Peninsula back in 2015. And
14.
Since then,
14.
2014. And since then, Steve secured over $80,000 in startup competition prize money, and he's raised significant angel investments. So it really it's nothing short of inspiring from that standpoint. Under his leadership, Nasoni has become an award-winning fountain faucet brand, celebrated for both its innovation and quality. That's not all. Steve recently was awarded $2.022 million Phase 2 SBIR grant for the next exciting advancements for Nasoni. And to top everything off, I don't know how you have time for all this, but Steve has penned Valuepreneurs, a book sharing his entrepreneurial wisdom with the world. So the whole thing, Steve, thank you for joining us today. Looking forward to your words. And the reality of it is everyone's a winner tonight. And it's a matter of if you continue to keep that journey moving forward. $5,000 in seed funding is great, but it's not going to get you to where you need to be. So, Steve, I'll turn the floor over to you so that you can talk about what you have done and how you've continued your journey.
Fantastic, Tim. Thank you. Let me get my my screen share going, and I'm going to share my sound so that we're all set for that. Let me go into presentation mode. All right. So let me get this out of the way too. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to speak here tonight. And I'm proud of all of you guys, man. You guys did a fantastic job pitching. So I'm going to talk to you about beyond the pitch, your entrepreneurial journey. So again, congratulations to all of you. You've done the best thing to get here. You're all of the best. So congratulations. And today's pitch competition isn't just a competition. It's a celebration of the entrepreneurial spirit, not just yours, but in all of Hampton Roads. Things are taking off in Hampton Roads. But as Tim just mentioned, persistence pays and the real win is perseverance. And I hope to demonstrate that to you through what I've been through. Out of my book, this is in the book, and it's the top 10 roadblocks entrepreneurs face. And I'm only going to mention number one. You can read the rest. But number one, lack of funding. I know all of you need money. We all need money to get there. And like as Tim mentioned, I raised over $80,000 in startup contributions. But I just want to caution you, and this comes from my wife, who is president and CEO of Reed Integration, a government consulting company. And she says, no matter what, when you think you have enough money to go full-time with your business and you've got that money set aside, no matter how much it is, quadruple it, because it's never enough. And don't forget that you're going to have to pay for things like health insurance. So she wanted me to make sure you guys remembered all that. So Nasoni, where did it come from? And I'm going to start with just a quick little video from this video that I saw.
You do that. No, you go. No, you do that. Fine. Here's how you use it. You can either sit from here, or you can put your hand and it comes out of this little hole.
So those are the Nasoni Fountains of Rome, and there are 2,500 of those along the streets of Rome. And they bring water from the Apennine Mountains through the streets of Rome, and people drink from them for over 150 years. And when I saw it, I'm like, why isn't that in the bathroom? Why would you want it in the bathroom? Well, there's a lot of reasons. Here's an example. I've animated what's called the aerosol effect. When you flush a toilet, bioaerosols are ejected that go through the air and land on all the surfaces in the bathroom, including E. coli and Staphylococcus. And those germs, like the one in the top left, they're going to land in the cup. And you don't wash that cup enough, and he's ingesting it. So if you got sick one time, might not know where you got it from, could have been from E. coli, from the aerosol effect. So what do some people do about it? One of the things I learned is in this journey is that some people rush in the shower because of that. I had never heard of that. Others cup their hand. Now, you know what? Your hand isn't clean. You've touched the surface in the bathroom. So there's still a need there. Yet others, like myself, would crane their neck. I know all of you see yourselves in some of these images. Then I would also see my wife at night cup her hand, splash her face to rinse facial cleanser off. It's wasteful of water, and it's just inconvenient and messy. Guys would do the same thing for shaving cream, unless you're like my friend here and shave in the shower. So I decided I would fix the problem after seeing the idea. And this is January 2014. I went to Lowe's and I bought a fiberglass sink and a faucet. I drilled a hole in the top, and I don't know why I put a tube in the top. And Tim, you've never seen this one. Hey, it's New Year's Day, January 1st, 2014. First test of the Nasoni faucet fountain concept. So let's first turn the sink on. And it's a faucet, not a sink. I was still learning plumbing products. We have a little bit of flow out the top. We go ahead and restrict the flow. We get our fountain effect. You can incrementally restrict it, so that concept works to adjust the height. So I like that. Just got to be able to stop the flow entirely. So in 2014, I took that idea, and it was just an idea. It was not a prototype even. It wasn't an MVP. And I was picked like you guys to pitch in the top 50, but I failed to qualify for the top 3 finalists. Back then we had 3 finalists. But I didn't let that failure stop me because I believed in the idea and I wanted to take it further. So then by the next year, I had made a lot more progress, and I decided to enter the 2015 Get Started Hampton Roads competition hosted by Cox Media and Inc. Magazine.
Down to where these folks are all curious as to who gets the big money, right? So tonight's grand prize winner will receive $5,000 cash from Cox Business. Thank you very much. Tom, sell more. We got to pay this off. 1 year of Cox Business Services for free. A segment on Cox Connection, Cox 11. A featured article on Inc.com. 1 year Hampton Roads Chamber of Commerce membership. 3-year subscription to Inside Business. Creative consultation, some of you guys mentioned this, creative consultation and advertising package from Cox Media. Dual communication, terminal, mobile, reader, and app enrollment with a free year of service from To Charge. And tonight's winner for the Get Started event is Sony.
So I won $5,000 in startup funding, and I used that money to build my first real prototype. There you see the prototype. And in the video I was making here, I actually was recording a video that I could submit to a TV show that was coming up called Steve Harvey's Thunderdome. And I decided to apply for that. It was being shot in LA. So I was actually accepted and flew out to CBS television studios in Hollywood. There is my dressing room door. I was actually on stage with Steve Harvey, and I competed against another entrepreneur for the audience vote. There was the hair and makeup team I was with before I went on stage. And if you might have known Tom Bergeron, host of Dancing with the Stars, he walked by my dressing room. I'm like, hey, Tom, can we do a selfie? I want to show it to my wife. What a great guy. He took me up on it. But the bottom line, long story short, is I won $50,000. I won the audience vote. And I used that money to go into production of building my MVP, designing and building an MVP of my faucet. I continued to look for funding, and I entered the 2017 inaugural 757 startup competition. Marty Kazabowski was one of the judges, by the way. You can see Marty there. And it was only $757. But you know what? Every penny counts when you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for money. What I didn't realize, it also came with $20,000 worth of consulting services. So that helped even more. In 2018, I failed again. I had taken my MVP faucets. I went down to the Kitchen and Bath Show in Orlando. We won the Best of KBiz People's Choice Award. I was flying high. I applied for the Entrepreneur Elevator Pitch Startup Competition. I flew again out to California, this time on my own nickel, and I had to get on an elevator and get 60 seconds to pitch to judges at the top. I tried to make it intriguing by not showing them my faucets, but it backfired. Let me show you how it went.
Entrepreneurs Board of Investors is challenging America to pitch the next big idea during a 60-second elevator ride.
Time's up. I think that they would be very interested in your product.
Let's say you need 5 million product, I take care of that.
It would be interesting to learn more.
Let us decide if we think it's compelling.
What the heck is it? I want to see it. What is it?
Your 60 seconds begins now. Going up.
Hello, my name is Steve Waddell, and my company name is Nasoni. You know, it's not very often we get to participate in market-disrupting products. In fact, some people don't get that opportunity in a lifetime. But I'm bringing that to you today in the opportunity to reinvent the bathroom faucet. Yeah, it's awesome, too. You remember in 2004 when the curved shower curtain rod was introduced? It revitalized or changed an entire market. And it was one of those, why didn't I think of that products? This is the same kind of thing. So we took our faucet in January down to the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show in Orlando, the largest show of its type for bath products in the country. And we came away with the Best of KBIS People's Choice Award. We've also won almost every startup competition that we've ever entered. Our faucets, our patented faucets, are ready for production. We're at the goal line, and with your help, we'll get there. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do you reinvent a bathroom faucet? I'd love to show you how.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, man, he's a meanie.
Tease.
Yes.
He's breaking the cardinal rule of pitching.
What does he want?
I know. Well, you don't know what it is, and we don't know what he wants. Our whole world today is like, leave him wanting more. Like, I'm so curious. I always want to let them in because I think it just takes so much. But 2 things. He didn't tell us what he wanted, and I don't know what it is. Not great. Not great. Yeah, let's send him down.
Going down.
Wow. Sorry, guys. I would love to have shown it to you. I will at least unveil it so you can see what you missed out on. We've won almost every startup competition we've ever entered, and we're going places with it. You'll see us out there, and I'd love to talk to you more if I ever get a chance.
If your company is that good to win every award, then tell me what it is, show me what it is, and tell me how I'm going to make money from it. Let us decide if we think it's compelling enough to make the investment.
My strategy was to go in there and not let them see the product until we opened the elevator doors. That was the enticement, right? And it didn't work. It was a lot of money to fly out here, and unfortunate that it was only for 60 seconds, but that's okay. Hey, no risk, no reward, you know? You got to go out on a limb, that's where the fruit is.
So as you can imagine, I'm flying home. I'm thinking to myself, you know, hey, God, why did you put me in this position? You know, spend all this money I didn't have and didn't even get to open the door and go pitch. Well, little did I know that 2 weeks later, the show would air. And there was a lady that I worked with from the SBA in Richmond, and she saw the show air, and she called a friend of hers named Ben. Ben happened to call me, and he said, "Hey, Steve, I heard about your product. Tell me about it." And when we talked about it, he said, "I'm an investor in Minnesota. Would you like to talk with them?" And I did. And the investor team then said, "Hey, we think if we're going to go any further, we need for you to fly to Minnesota and let's meet in person." The long story short, that was the Otten Associates. And after the first meeting with them, they agreed to invest $600,000 into my company, and that allowed us to go into production. So even though there was a failure on the show, I never would have gotten the seed round had I not been on the show and failed. And then we went on to win a bunch of awards with the product, as you can see across the bottom. So what is the product? I'll show you that real quick.
And a radical new idea is needed. Introducing the award-winning Nasoni fountain faucet. It's designed to create an impressive amount of water savings while being a pleasure to use. And it pays for itself by saving as much as 88% over conventional faucets. Imagine simplifying rushed daily routines. The Nasoni fountain faucet streamlines routine activities such as face washing, rinsing shaving cream, and brushing our teeth while providing a profound expression of luxury. And in the case of seniors at risk for dehydration, fountain faucets make clean, healthy water more accessible. To some, it's just water. To us, it's where we regain our sanity while contributing to planet Earth's sustainability. Nasoni. Save water and love doing it. It's better for you, better for the planet.
By the way, that motion is trademarked that you just saw, that water motion. Anyhow, by the way, being an entrepreneur is a roller coaster ride, because now we've gotten the funding, we got a product, we won a bunch of awards, but guess what? Our product arrived for distribution for sale in February of 2020. What happens in March of 2020? 100-year global pandemic. That's a risk I could never have predicted. I didn't expect that at all. But so now we had to figure out how to pivot, right? But remember, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Roman philosopher Seneca. And so in addition to that pandemic, the PPP loan was given out, and I applied for and got $20,000. And I took half of that to help fund operations, but I also took the other half and I turned it into $2.5 million. Well, how did I do that? Well, if faucets weren't designed for able-bodied users, how much harder are those for motor impairments? You know, think about somebody disabled trying to use a faucet. You know, they can't crane their neck under it and do the gyrations we try to do. So Dr. Nancy Gurdon introduced me to Dr. Lisa Caperna. That's Lisa on the left. She's the clinical director for Old Dominion University's Monarch Physical Therapy. She saw our faucets and she said, if good gosh, imagine if I had a sensor version of that, we could really help our spinal cord injured patients. So I applied for a non-dilutive phase 1 SBIR grant, which I won last year. And we just finished the phase 1 clinical trials in May. I also applied for a state CCF grant, $75,000. I won that back in March, but we won our $2 million phase 2 grant this past September. And along the way, I also applied for a $2.5 million grant with the National Institute of Aging. So the $10,000 could turn into $5 million sometime in January. So what I've done is I want to give back to the community. So over the last 9 years, I've learned so much about how to develop a roadmap to bring a product to market from idea to selling. And I call it the value-driven product development process. And not only is it a roadmap, I've also integrated the business model canvas and the Steve Blank customer development model, which I haven't seen any other book do. You can see it starts with an idea at the 1 o'clock position. And you know the saying, ideas are a dime a dozen? That's because they're full of risk. So you see in the center there, risk, the risk ring, if you will. It's not until we take the steps that we take in the process that we add value. So to conclude, the book launches January 23rd. And if you'd like to join my launch team, visit our website. You can submit your email there. And we'll have a virtual summit around the book and the process in February. And that concludes my presentation. Any questions?
Thanks, Steve. Really, really appreciate it. I'll open it up to any of the pitchers. If you have any questions, fire away.
Yeah, I got a question, sir. You know, you've been successful in the SIBR market, and I don't know if you knew about SIBR before. How did you get turned on to that, and what was your your key to success for getting those initial SBIR contracts?
Those are great questions. So my background is 25 years building nuclear powered aircraft carriers and subs at Newport News Shipbuilding, but I left that in 07 and joined my wife's small business doing government consulting and training. And when we had the pandemic hit, my wife said, you ought to think about a SBIR. And I thought, what the heck am I going to do with a faucet and a grant? And that's when the opportunity came with Dr. Caperna. So no, I've won multi-million-dollar government consulting contracts, you know, with her business, but a grant is different. You got to understand how to write a grant proposal. So I'd learned how to leverage freelancers, and I went on Upwork and I found a PhD that specialized in grant writing. And at the time he had won $19 million in grants. I interviewed him, he interviewed well, and I hired him. And since then we've batted 1,000. You know, the grant win rate for phase one is 13%. And we're batting 1,000 on the 3 proposals right now that I've submitted. So you're right. It's a tough market. You got to understand how to be successful. But if you do your homework and find the right help, like I use freelancers from all over the world. I've been using them since 2014 when it was Elance and Odesk, which is now it's Upwork. But I strongly recommend, you know, doing your homework and finding experts that can help you. Great question.
Morton.
Yeah, this is actually on that same subject because I was going to ask about the grants, just some of the difficulty that there is actually navigating and understanding which grants you should be applying for versus ones that you're going to spin your wheels on and not actually get anywhere with. Was that PhD, that guy that you had contracted out, was he helping you with actually trying to filter out the ones that would be best used for you?
Absolutely. And when I interviewed multiple different grant writers from Upwork, I asked each one, I said, which grant would we tie this to? And so I got feedback from them, you know, and all of them basically turned me to the same, pretty much the same grant. So, you know, you leverage everything you can from those freelancers because they know the market.
Ian.
Yeah, thank you again. Wonderful presentation, a lot of good information. With regard to the grant opportunities you pursued, is that something you would recommend for someone that's, you know, building a startup in the SaaS space? I'm not as educated on grants as I'd like to be. It's something I've been recently exploring.
Maybe it wouldn't be a SBIR for you, but you might look at like things like the CCF grant from the state. There are federal and state grants, right? And you know, the CCF grant was $75,000, you know, but you had to meet their requirements, and they have a rigorous process of selection and the right business case and so on. But non-dilutive funding is always the best, right? Because, you know, they don't get any ownership in the company. They just want to see you succeed.
Well, Steve, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate the time and you sharing your story with all of us. I mean, I tell everyone every year that the people that win are the ones that stick with it and don't give up. And you are a true testament to that. So thank you. Thank you so much for participating in Startup Peninsula back in 2014. And then 9 years later, coming back and sharing your story. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the invite. And
I see that the judges are popping back in. I'm not sure if we have them all here. If you can confirm.
Tim, while you're waiting, if somebody wanted to, they could reach out to me by email later on, you know, steve@nasoni.com. It's pretty easy.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I do have results.
You do?
The smoke is rising.
Oh, wow.
Yes, the smoke is rising, and we have a selection. But before the selection, I think you have some things to talk about, Tim.
Well, I would like to hear what the judges have to say. If there's any closing comments that the judges would like to share, add a little suspense, if you will.
I'll go. Yeah, I've been doing this since the dawn of time. It's hard to believe how much progress you guys have made on this thing. I mean, it's fabulous. I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. And this really has been the best group that we've seen. And frankly, the fact that you could sit there and listen to Steve Waddell talk gives me some pleasure that you managed to do that too. So congratulations for making it this far.
Marty was one of my mentors, so there you go.
I just say logistically, it flowed very well. So everything was just spot on with the links, and everything flowed and worked, which is half the battle on these things. So you kept knock on wood, Murphy's Law at bay on this. So
Thanks so
I
much.
just
Paul. We
wanted
we
to,
do our
thanks,
best.
thanks, Tim. I just wanted to say congratulations to all the founders, no matter where you land today. It was really inspiring to hear what you guys are working on. Tons of enthusiasm. You know, you guys are why we do what we do every day. So grateful for that, and congratulations already for what you've been able to pull off.
Yeah, ditto what Evan said. Thank you for, you know, your contribution today, and your winners for having just gotten this far with your ideas. You've chosen a hard path. And so perseverance and tenacity, and being able to pick yourself up when the day didn't happen well and keep moving on. These are all friends of yours that'll be on this journey. And so hats off to each and every one of you for being where you are and for being part of this process today.
Unlike my ICAP colleague Marty, I've not been doing this forever. So and this is actually the first final that I've attended. I've been a judge at several of the earlier events. So I want to congratulate all of you too for the progress that I see that you've made, both in content but presentation as well. And there's a really nice diversity of projects to hear presented today. So thanks to all of you.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, the last thing that I'll say is again appreciate everyone's time, and then highlighting on similar to the judges here is that the entrepreneurship journey can be lonely at times, and just remember that there's communities like this one to support you, as well as mentors that are here to support you too, and always keep on chugging along, and it's a roller coaster, so enjoy the ride.
Thanks, Taylor. Appreciate it. And judges, thank you so much for the time that you put forth. And I know that you all take this really, really seriously. So that means a lot to me. We are very, very intentional in who we pick in terms of judges, because this is just the first stop of your journey. And you are now part of the Start Peninsula community. You're part of the 757 ecosystem. You're going to see these faces in the future. So this was the first time that they were able to see you in some cases. You're going to see them again, and you're going to have to show progress every stop along the way. So this is all done by design. It is orchestrated by design. So congratulations, judges. Thank you so much to the localities. We can't thank you enough for providing the support to make this possible for entrepreneurs to have a place that they can start their journey. Have I raised enough suspicion, Gary, for because I don't know who the winners are. So we're 8 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
We're 8 minutes late, so I'll turn it over to you.
Well, are you gonna? We have to get our picture first.
Oh, that's right. I have to. Thank you.
And were you going to talk about the prizes a little bit?
Well, let's go with the picture. I mean, so everyone here is going to receive.
We need Carly to get back on for the picture.
Oh, see, I have everybody on my screen.
I have a double audio pane.
Oh, okay, cool.
Over here.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
there. There you are. Okay, good.
All right, I'll do. All right, everybody look smiley and happy. Perfect. And Andrew, are you able to take a couple pictures as well to make sure that we have everyone? We have so many people in this that. Andrew, we good? All right.
I can see everybody on my 4-inch screen. I don't know what your problem is, Tim. Okay, are we ready? Drum roll. Here we go. First one. Infra SGA, Borden Edgerton.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Next. Reg Vij and Jeremy Swack with Frentify. Oh, and I can't read the last one. Oh, yeah, I can. Oh, I see right here. That's just more suspense. Drew Keever with Advisor Finder.
Congratulations to you all. Everyone, you are a winner. The only one that loses are the ones that quit. Congratulations. We will be in touch with everyone because we have some paperwork to do so that there's some, so we can send the prize money your way. Judges, thank you again. It means the world to me and the world to the entrepreneurs. Dan Gerard from the core team, thank you so much as always. Andrew, thank you. James Doe, our new addition. We couldn't do it without you guys. Gary, the MC, the man, thank you so much. Localities, you all are great. Everyone is great. Have a great evening and good night.
Tim, you did a great job too.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
You don't get enough
Thank you for the
credit, Tim,
opportunity.
yourself. So good
Thank
job.
you.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Bye.